Okay, hi guys. So most of you know me. I'm Summer. This is my roommate, Sarah Grace. Joel asked me to make this video for you guys, and she was in town and has a lot of experience with the topic, so I asked her to join us. Um, so, um, just a little bit about us and our college experience. I am a senior in college right now, and I'm studying interpreting for the deaf. I graduate in May and will be going on to grad school.
I graduated last May, and I'm full-time student teaching and getting my master's in elementary education.
So we both love college. It's wonderful.
College is great. So much better than high school. You have so much to look forward to.
We go to the same church. That's a great thing. Yeah. So our first question is, how often do you have opportunities in college to interact with people of different belief systems? And we just kind of talked about how it depends on like what you get involved in as a student.
I think that it's really actually very easy to not talk to people of different belief systems, or at least see them and not actually be friends with them. And so it's something that you can, and I would argue should, intentionally seek out, not just to be able to interact, but to have genuine friendships with. So there's huge opportunities, but it's whether or not you're going to take those opportunities.
Yeah. So the next question, looking back upon the conversations you've had with people who believe differently, what do you think you did well, and what would you have changed if you had the chance? So a lot of my experience with talking to people in college has been talking to people who are atheists or claim, that they don't believe in God or believe in anything. And so something that I wish I had done differently is I just wish I had been more bold in my conversation. I think a lot of times I have spent a lot of time building up a relationship with someone, and I'm afraid to lose that. So the questions I ask are very timid, and I don't want to offend them or scare them away. But I wish that I had been more bold in my questions and in my conversations with people. I think something that I've done well is establish that relationship. I think that's very important in sharing the gospel. So just so you don't come across as someone who's attacking them or trying to force feed them, but as someone who genuinely cares about them as a friend.
Yeah, and I am with Summer on the boldness. I think that I've never disliked someone asking me about my faith, and that's something that I've definitely learned that I didn't do so well at first, and that I grew to do a little better. I have a lot of friends actually of different faiths, and I've been really lucky to be able to have really good conversations with them. And something that really struck me was one of them said, we were having a conversation about what they believed in, and I was asking them questions about, so what do you believe about death and dying? And what do you believe about love? What do you believe about why we're here? And finally they realized, why aren't you telling me what you believe? What do you believe? And we had gotten to that point to where they asked me, and I could share in a really safe way, and they wanted to listen because I had genuinely listened to them so well. But it definitely was nerve-wracking even asking those questions, but I think I wouldn't stress myself out so bad about asking a question like, what do you believe in? Because we want to talk about it. What's stressful is when they think you're asking so that you can immediately share, but I think that kind of goes along with Summer's relationship, part of that relationship.
So the fourth question, if you hear something from a professor or another student that you don't believe is true, how do you go about investigating it further to determine if it is true? We kind of talked about how this is talked up a lot, I think, for high school students, like, oh, you're going to face the big bad philosophy professor who challenges everything you believe and is really mean. But I've had 2 philosophy classes, and both the professors have been super respectful. And if I counteract something that they say, they will argue with me, but it's not like a heated attacking debate. It's like, let's have a professional discussion about that. And I think there are a lot of times when professors have said things that I thought, I wonder what I think about that. And you can ask them about it, they know about it, ask them more, you can research it. I mean, definitely don't just let it pass. Go and figure out what you think about that.
Yeah, and I think definitely your walk with the Lord is essentially all about investigating further to determine if what you believe is true. And it's certainly okay to go to college and suddenly be faced with a situation that you've never had before and have a doubt, but understand that don't push that doubt to the back of your mind, because guaranteed the gospel will speak to that, and guaranteed the Bible is going to answer that, and the Lord will answer that for you.
Okay, so our last question. If this year's seniors wanted to get more confident with what they believe and how to interact with people from different belief systems, what would you recommend? I recommend just making your faith real. I think you grow up in Hardy County and you're in this little bubble of, everybody believes the same thing, or at least they know what you believe. And college is not like that. And I got to college and realized, wow, there's a lot I don't know about the Bible, about my faith, about Christianity. And that doesn't mean that you have to go and be this great theologian and study etc. But just have a relationship with the Lord and be pursuing it daily and know what you believe, so that when someone asks you, hey, what is the gospel? Or hey, what do you believe? You can have an answer for them.
Yeah, and I think too, just diving into that, not being, you're going to have a conversation with someone and they're going to ask a question that you can't answer, and that's okay. And saying to that person, that's such a great question, and I'm going to actually go read about that and go think about that and figure that out. Thank you for asking, and not shying away from conversations with people because you don't feel like your walk with the Lord is perfect or where you feel like it should be.
Sorry.
Definitely just dive in. Just get started. Don't waste time building relationships. Don't waste time walking in your walk with the Lord.
That's all we got. Thanks. Hope y'all have a great rest of your senior year.
College is going to be so fun. You're going to love it.